Perfect.
Hello,
Anshu, you want
guys.
to?
Yeah. Hello, guys. This is Anshu Bansal, CEO and founder of CloudDefense. Welcome to our. Oh, there's a lot of background noise. No? Can someone mute themselves? Yeah. Okay. Um, this is Anshu Bansal, CEO of CloudDefense, and here we have Rohan, CEO of Beround, our technology partners, and our my friend and our chief ethical hacker Hieu, who is very popular. And today we're gonna discuss cyber attacks in hospitality. We're gonna discuss why the hackers are majorly targeting the hospitality industry and what you can do about it for the prevention techniques you can put together. Having said that, I would like Rohan to introduce himself and then Hieu. Yeah, go ahead, Rohan.
Thank you, Anshu. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Thank you for joining. Great to be here, Anshu, with you and you. Thank you for setting this up. I'm sure this is going to add a lot of value to our hospitality clients. As Anshu mentioned, I head the US business for Beround, and we like to call ourselves a smile enabling company, building a happiness ecosystem. When it comes to the actual outcomes that we drive for our clients, they cut across different areas like data, AI, CRM, middleware integration, as well as cybersecurity. Over to you, you.
Thank you. My name is Hieupc. I'm currently I am a part-time employee of CloudDefense.AI, and I was a former hacker, convicted hacker. I was jailed in the U.S. for almost 7 years in federal prison, and now I am a white hat and working to have CloudDefense.AI to raise community and also building the hacker view option, the feature, one of the great feature from the defense. And hopefully that today I can give you guys some insights about my background along with all these common hacking techniques that threat actors nowadays they use to exploit or attack and then stealing your customer data. Thank you.
Cool. All
Thanks.
right. We are very excited to be here. In next couple of slides, we're gonna cover how hackers see your system, how hackers target your system, and today talk will be revolving around hospitality, recent hospitality attacks that happened on Caesar's Place and MGM Grand, and many other hotels. In the past, we have seen Hilton, Marriott, they get breached all the time, right? So today the discussion will be around for how can we prevent proactively these hospitality attacks. Yeah? Okay.
Right.
Go ahead, Hieu. Hieu, you wanna share your background and tell a little bit more about you and what customers or what hospitality industry can do about it. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Mm, yes. Long story short, I was locked up in the U.S. Due to my cybercrime. I was an identity theft, stealing like almost 200 millions US identities, like social security numbers and bank account information, stuff like that. And then I resell that to the dark web back in 2009. And then I continued to do that until like 2013. I got arrested in February 7, 2013. And then I got my sentence up to 156 months, which means 13 years in prisons into 2015. And from that time, I continued to work myself down to uh, 2019. I mean, at the end of 2019, I kind of, I reduced my sentence like more than a half of my time. And then finally I got home in 2020, and by the time I've been working for Vietnamese government, and then continue to work as um, a chief growth hacker for CloudDefense.AI. And today I'm glad to be here to share with you guys on the sitting critical infrastructure sectors, along with the hospitalities industries that we need to care about, basically your data. As you can see in this slide, a lot of critical infrastructure nowadays, like that we need to care about. And to me, basically, it's more than the sitting critical infrastructure sector listed in here, and could be more than that, due to the reason that everything, I mean, every company right now, nowadays, related to technology. Every company we connected to the internet, and we sharing that data. We also like storing data of your own customer, and that's one of the most valuable uh, thing for the threat actor. They can, they can abuse that, or they can steal that from you and then resell that on the dark, sometimes with a very cheap price though. The reason is very cheap price because they resell that over and over again to many other hands, not only one person. They can sell that to many person as they want. So next slide, please. As in here, you can see there's a global security spending. This is just numbers, right? I mean, the numbers showing everything. Basically, every company right now, they spend on cybersecurity one way or another. I mean, they can sometimes they use a cybersecurity service or products that they didn't think that they using. Basically, they one way or another, because I'm saying that because some companies have money, so they can hire an in-house security team. But a lot of company like small and mid-sized business, they don't have that kind of budget, so they use some of the service and products similar like the service and products provided by Cloud Defense and Beround. They're protecting their customer with a very small price, and that help them to maintain their service, kind of like DDoS protection, or like kind of like identity theft protection, stuff like that. And that's why this is a huge market, like these money they spending every year, it just keep increasing, not only in millions of US dollars, but billions of US dollars. So this is an also a good number, it's also an alarming number. That we need to care about your own data, basically the customer database. Very important, because even you spend a lot of money and you don't have that kind of good service, then all your data belong to the hacker. It could be right now, because the hacker, when they get inside your system, they try to stay silently and unprotected for a long time, you know because they want to collect as many data as possible. So as you can see, a lot of big company, basically in these hospitalities industry, their data got stolen, and the hackers stay in the system for a long time, maybe so for months before it can get exposed.
or years,
So next,
right?
right.
And I
Next
think
slide,
one
please.
key message you on this slide is there is also a shortage of skilled resources, right? To a certain extent, there's close to $400 billion of cumulative spending. I think that might cover like firewalls, antivirus solutions,
Right,
resources, software. But then when it comes to skilled resources, there is also a dearth in the market of qualified and certified people and firms who can actually handle this risks, right? So that's just one thing which I wanted to add as we look at this spending for the upcoming year. But thank
right.
you. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate. Next slide, please. Okay. As we see in this slide, that is about the cyber kill chain. This is very popular. It basically is showing that the how the threat actor they they move around in your system. You know, and one of the first steps is the recon step. Usually, recon they use in public resource. Also, they use private resource. Recon step is one of the most important things that they can define and they can know everything about your company, basically from any resource, from Google, from Telegram, from dark web, and also some recon skill related to penetration testing that they can gather in on information related to your system before they can get inside. Just imagine that um a house, right? They have so many doors and so many windows, right? So they have to know how many windows and how many doors that you have in that house. So before after they know everything, they know okay, this is an open port in your server. The same the same thing. This is an open window in your house, and you forget to close it. So the theft just get inside to that window. Even you have all kind of security cameras and all the best security system ever, and they just get inside that way. So the second thing is the weaponization. And nowadays, not only the traditional hacking techniques, but nowadays they're taking advantage of AI, artificial intelligence. They can compose like kind of a good legit email phishing content. Along with that, they can use AI and deepfake technologies to impersonate anybody, even like the manager, the boss, or anybody that who have a high position in your company. At the same time, they can use AI to write malware, malicious code, and they use that to for writing malware, phishing, and after that they go on the third step, that is to delivery. They can delivery to email or like portable price, and they can delivery to like text message. And in this step, most likely they use social engineering like phishing, and they manipulate people like that. So on the next step, exploitation. When this step is about when they can manipulate and they can lure that victim to click on that email and download a file, a malicious file, or a malicious link. On the step 5, installation, the victim, when they click on the link or the file, they execute that file or that link. Maybe they can lose their very sensitive credential that it can be able to access into the internal system. So that's where the command control get in. When the step 5 get over, everything's going good. The threat actor, I mean the hacker, They can control their system from far away to their command and control server, and they can manipulate anything in their server, in their system, to collecting or to stealing data remotely in the background without any notice. And along with that, they can inject like ransomware and malware or any backdoor that they can use that further for their malicious action in the future. A lot of time they will hide the backdoor very well. There's even like endpoint detection or any antivirus couldn't, could not be able to detect that. And that's how they can stay in the system as long as possible. Along with that, in this step, very important, it is the last step, as exfiltration, is when they try to collecting any possible sensitive data like customer identities, customer credit cards information, and especially employees' credential. They will most of the time nowadays the hacker, they hack from the inside and they get to the outside. I mean to say this way because they will steal the employees' credential, and they will use that credential to phishing. Any other employees in that same company. And the second thing, they will use that employees' credential to um, filtrating the data from this server without any problems. Because at this point, even the past antivirus couldn't detect it, because that's what we call the account takeover. One of the most popular problems right now in the cybersecurity industries. Basically, the hospitalities is very in concerns about this. As lately, we see a lot of cyber data breaches related to majors and very big companies in the hospitality industries. So we can go on the next slide. Thanks. So, like just say the recent cyber attack in the hospitality industries is getting more and more serious. The threat actor, like basically everything come up at the end of the day is all about database. It's all about customer personal information, like credit card, bank accounts. It's the same for many years. From the time I got arrested to the time I'm in here today, it's the same thing. Nothing changed. It's all about data. So end up data. What hacker want is data. They don't want anything. They just want your data, because data is very very valuable on the uh, market, on the underground market, like Telegram or dark web. They have so many forums like that. They can sell customer data. And the second thing is they use the customer data to threat, to boot a threat or a ransom against that hospitality industry company. For instance, right, they can encrypt all that data, and then they blackmail that company for a larger money. And that's already happened. Big company, they buy multi millions of US dollar for this threat actor. And a lot of them, they use they very highly skilled hackers though. They work in like an organization, like they have position, they have level, and they have manager, they have technical guys. They have even like a marketing guy, you know, and at the same time they have a negotiator. The negotiator is the guy that communicate and contact the the people at the hospitality industry to negotiate the price. And that's what happened. The more data they have, the more money that the hospitality industry had to pay for the hacker. There's no way you can get away with that, because they can use the data to to defame that hospitality industry, even like put them into like in a position that they will get a huge lawsuit, like from the people. And that's only what happened, especially in my case. Even until now, a lot of lawsuits against big companies that I stole their data before, and until now they still got lawsuits.
Wow.
And that's what happened. Right. Next slide, please. Okay, so as we can see in here, the MGM resource and the CISA entertainment. This is very big companies that are in the hospitality industries. Talking about the MGM, right? A group known as the Scatter Spider is believed to responsible for the MGM data breach, and is reportedly used ransomware made by the Alpha V, also called the Black Cat, as a ransomware as a service operation. And these hackers, they were able to find an MGM employee on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very popular social media channel for professionals. So they impersonate that person and call the organization service, customer service, and to ask for the asset to that account. And that what happened. They move their way across on the MGM resource servers, and they got everything. And then they put a ransomware on that. So the second thing is this.
Yeah. So, Hugh, sorry to interrupt, but for our audience, could you please put these names, like which ransomware service and what was the uh, OS Spider, or what was the name of the people who were responsible for this hack, so that people can do more research?
Right.
Yeah.
It's called this. It's called the group behind that. The is Scatter.
What is called? How do you say it?
Scattered.
SC Scatter. I mean the Scatteret. Right. I can
Okay.
send in the chat so you can see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Scatteret spider.
Okay.
Right.
And what was the ransomware service they used?
It's called the Black Cat, a
Black Cat.
ransomware as a service operation. Black Cat.
Okay. Naeem and Arka, Cloud Defense AI team, could you please put these names into chat for our audience? Cool. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead, Hugh. Yeah.
Right. And the second, I mean, one of the major data breach lately is CISA. They
Mhm.
confirm the cyber attack was caused by social engineering again on
Mhm.
an outside IT vendor. This
Mhm.
one of the problem that if you hire a third party IT vendor that couldn't handle well the cybersecurity stuff, that's what happened. The same thing with CISA. So
Mhm.
CISA is the name exactly with IT vendor. So according to the press, that the hacker first they targeted the hotel and entertainment giant in late August, and some of cybersecurity researcher say the incident was part of a larger campaign by a group, the same group that hack MGM.
So
It
Scattered Spider, just for our audience, Scattered Spider was
right,
responsible for Caesar Place as well. And
right.
sorry, for our audience, what was the ransomware service name?
It's called the Black Cat,
Black Cat.
a
Okay.
ransomware as a service
Mhm.
operations.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Hmm.
So the scatter rat spider, they
Hmm.
use, they use deep voice. They use AI deep voice to phishing
Hmm.
against various organizations. In this,
Okay.
they do a lot of deep voice phishing techniques. When
And that
go on
means
the
they
next
are
slide.
impersonating someone else's voice
Right.
to do the social engineering, call someone and get them to maybe divulge their multi-factor authentication details or their
That's
username
true,
and
right?
password.
For
Yeah.
real. Very dangerous though with the AI technologies. Thanks. Okay,
It's
next slide, please.
fascinating. Thank you for giving your perspective. I mean,
Right.
one key message that came out is insider threats are very common. I mean, that's something which is big these days, and social engineering and phishing. That is a trend behind these attacks. But thank you, and it's just fascinating to see how these black hat operations are kind of organized in a company like mode, right? I mean, to have a
Yeah.
negotiator, to have a technical head, to have like a CEO. So I mean, it's like just fascinating to see that perspective, and even you coming out, you and
Right.
sharing your story. I mean, it's so nice, right? It takes some guts and some courage to come out, having been on the dark side, having worn the black hat. So it's really appreciated that you are sharing this perspective. And I think one key message for the audience and even some of the young kids, because a lot of times these are juveniles and teenagers who get into this, is there is more fun to be on the good side, right? So please wear the white hat instead of the black one. So yeah, but thank you. You please continue.
Thank you. Appreciate. Okay, for the third one is also one of the major one too. I continue to share about this that the Intercontinental Hostile Group, so-called the IHG. In 2022, the hacker gained access to internal IT network by the same thing, social engineering. They tricking an employee into downloading software to a malicious email attachment. They added that they can the hacker they can gain access to most sensitive part of the international hotel group's computer system after finding login details for the company in internal password vault, because a lot of company, right, they using password vault like password manager, stuff like that, similar things. So this is what happened when they get inside that computer where storing a lot of sensitive data and information like logins details. The hacker, they love that. It basically, I remember back in the day the same thing. I hacked into one of the private investigators computer, and I get that password vault he store on an Excel file or a Word document file. I don't remember exactly, but on in that I even can see that the credit card information, on the login details on the website that he usually use. So I collecting on that, and I just use that to log into all the all the website and that I have an you know something that I really need to gain access to, and that's what happened. The same thing. So basically, we already go from one to two to three, and we go to the last one, the Marriott. The attack on Marriott was, Marriott is basically, one of the most, I mean, the biggest one. I have to be, one of the big one. that was harmless and popular entry point for hackers. And they do think that to the email one of the technique in phishing, email swapping. The email swapping is mean that they can um, impersonate an email address look alike or exactly the same thing with the domain, I mean, with the email domain of Marriott Hotel. It targeted EU in phishing in order to get malware on a target network and then move laterally across all the system. And this is what happened when um, when some company they didn't set up the right config for their email system, so the threat actor they can easily to swap that email exact the same of your domain name and use that to phishing other people. And another way they very common nowadays is the account takeover. They looking for the email account belong to your company's employees, and they can buy that on Telegram or on dark web with very cheap price, $5, $10. They can have an email, and after that they can use that email of your employees and just send a phishing email, maybe send a malware file or a malicious link to lure your own customer or the boss to click on that link and input the credential, and after that is a history. Thank you. We can go on the next slide.
Yeah, so just a quick time check. We have around 13 minutes left. So,
Right.
Rohan, maybe some of the slides we can fast track it. Rohan, you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good.
So I think the common trend which comes about from the previous slides, which you covered, right, is the latest techniques of social engineering and phishing. So these are very popular. We have seen that across some of the recent attacks in hospitality. And it comes down to training. It comes down to not just the products, but it's a holistic mix, right? So if you are fighting such attacks, just having the tools in place does not cut it, right? You need to have employee training, you need to have services portion, you need to have the audit. So there are a whole bunch of activities which need to go in to prevent these, and you can't just prevent it. I mean, you are going to be attacked. So the key question is, how can you detect them in a timely fashion as well? So that's the message which is coming out from these slides. You can
Yeah,
move on to the next one.
cool. Next slide, please. Yeah,
You want to
cool.
cover these a little bit, Anshu? Yeah.
Yeah, I will cover about very high level. So, guys, first of all, we all know that these corporations are gigantic, multi-billion-dollar corporations, right? So, when even if the system goes down for 1 hour, it costs hundreds of millions of dollars, right? In this case, they were shut down for many days. So, this resulted in their market cap. They are publicly traded companies, some of them. The market cap came down by multi-billion dollars, right? On top of that, there are pseudo costs, right? Immediate financial loss, right? Per day revenue that they are losing. The other thing is customer trust, right? If we just for a sake of argument keep the financial separately, you cannot regain the customer trust. Once a customer is gone, they're gone forever, right? So that plus the news which gonna stay in the media forever, there is no price to it, right? It's a kind of brand impact. So there are some of the numbers. These were kind of as a kind of general guideline of what kind of loss they suffered, but this is kind of a direct immediate impact on the pseudo impact, because their market cap came down by multi-billion dollar, plus customer trust got eroded, plus these news gonna stay in the media forever, right? So next time you're gonna check into MGM and Caesar's place, you'll be a little careful, right? So this why the continuous cybersecurity assessment is very important, right? It doesn't hurt to go 1 mile extra to protect something, because you don't want to be in this situation when these guys unfortunately got into that. Next slide, please. Yeah. These are some of the numbers. These are in the news, Wikipedia, everywhere. Millions of millions. Customers' data, gas data got compromised. It could be possible. Even my passport is flying around in dark web. Your passport, whoever is seeing. But just these kind of credit cards. Yes, in US at least we have liberty. We get the money back from credit card companies. But ultimately, this loss is getting booked by banks not going to pay out of your pocket. They're going to trickle down in some sort of fees, right? So ultimately we as a consumer are paying the price. Next slide, please. Yeah. Rohan, Hieu, you want to take this slide?
Yeah, so I mean, this kind of covers what the industry is facing, right? You want to kind of summarize the threats which hospitality is facing. We spoke about social engineering. We are talking about phishing, and I think it's called vishing now, the voice-based phishing. So that's there. Ransomware, we have seen it. Denial of service, distributed denial of service, payment card attacks. I mean, the whole driver is personally identifiable information, PII, right? The fact that we are seeing revenge travel after the pandemic. Last year, this year, I think over Thanksgiving, it was a record number of travel, all-time high. Volumes are high. People are doing revenge travel. They are after experiences. They are buying less materialistic stuff. They want to kind of explore the world. So with these changes happening after the pandemic, there is an uptick. Hospitality is recruiting a bunch of people as well. There are more jobs now. It's a booming industry. So obviously, there's no doubt why they are getting attacked. And when the attacks, you analyze them, the problem statements, they span across these different areas. A very important one, which you covered, is the insider threats, right? Item number 9. So you mentioned that. Maybe you can to double click on that a little bit. Why they are important, insider threats, and from a Red Hat standpoint, or from a company standpoint, what can you do to prevent these
Yeah.
insider threats? So if you can maybe double click on that, that'll be nice.
Like insider threat to me is very dangerous one, and one of the most constant. I mean, the most concerned one, because it's very hard to detect. It's all about human. I mean, ethical. I mean, ethics issue. It's come down to end up come down to human as well. So that's a problem that more than 70% of companies like worldwide, they very concerned, and they kind of worry about their data to be, one day their employees sell that data. And even like cybersecurity company happen like that, you know. And I remember like 2 weeks ago, one of the companies, very big companies in Vietnam, that one of their employees sold the database on the dark web. And it took for many years though until that employees got fired out, and then end up he making like almost a half millions, almost a half millions for those database. And imagine that if couldn't detect that, it should be a disaster.
Okay.
And it's very hard, because that's why we have to try to eliminate or reduce the account permission or privilege as much as possible, and go to so many different steps before that action, I mean, can be able to be executed. That's how we need to use like something like the service for CloudDefense.AI, and that help a lot, along with using like zero trust policies, and that should help your companies.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks.
Next slide, please. We just have around 5 minutes for our audience, so we're gonna rush through a little bit. Yeah, Rohan, you wanna talk about it?
Yeah, so I mean, we have addressed the problem statement. So let's move on to the next slide, wherein we talk about some solutions, right? So here is a product company, a CNAP, and here is a services partner. How can we address these challenges which the industry is facing at large? So that is what our perspective is within the hospitality space. If you can go on to the next slide, Naeem. Yeah. So let's start, Anshu, with maybe the cloud defense perspective on some of these, right? So
Yeah.
we spoke about the configuration bit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you're using, say, a public cloud, or if you have a hybrid solution, right? I mean,
Yeah.
configuration is a big deal. You might be
Yeah.
using AWS, you might be using Azure, you might be using GCP, Google Cloud. But if things are not configured right, and if the access control is not mapped properly, right, I think the bad actors are capable enough to find a vulnerability and go all out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need a solution, a holistic solution, which not only kind of fixes the configuration in an automated way, but can do the assessment, can do the checks on an ongoing basis, and we have a wrapper of services around it. People are the most important in this whole process as well, right? Just throwing tools at a problem would not cut it. So that's where our joint proposition comes in. When you have social engineering, when you have ransomware attacks, DDoS attacks, compliance issues, and stuff, that's where the holistic solution, which Beround and CloudDefense.AI bring in, addresses these problem statements. If
Yeah.
you want to talk a little bit about that, Anshu.
Sure. So I would say don't wait. Security is a continuous thing, right? You might have, the legacy system. You might have cutting edge system. You cannot just wait for attack to be happen, right? You need a proactive approach. And as Hugh, one of my good friend, mentioned it, that how hackers are one of the smartest people on the earth, right? How hackers see your system from outside and then able to get to your system. That's how you need to think in terms of hacker if you really want to foolproof your solution. Having that mind, with the help of Hieu and other hackers, Cloud Defense AI has developed a solution. It's called Hackers View, and the intent of that is it tells you how hackers are able to identify the resources or any thing hidden in your company. It doesn't take any installation, anything. All you are doing is just punching your domain name. It will find, hey, what you have expired certificate. You have so many domain name that you are subdomain or domain name that you are not even aware of. You may have a cloud bucket open or port open that you may not be aware of. It goes to a dark web and figure out, hey, some of your employees' data is on sale for $10 a piece, right? So that is a recon techniques from hackers' perspective. That's the first step you should do. It doesn't cost much. It doesn't require a lot of resources. It is a very minimal thing that you can do to protect your business. Hackers View by Cloud Defense AI, and Beround team will help you in running it. And this is this will tell you how hackers see your system from outside. Then after that, we not only this, how what are the problems, it also recommend you the automated solution for that as well, right? That, hey, how does the fix look like? How other companies have fixed it? So it is the power of AI in the full crawling of the web. Next slides, please. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so there are a few key takeaways. Rohan, do you want to talk about it? Few key takeaways and prevention actions.
Yeah, let's guys, let's bring it home, right? I mean, where this all culminates, what we have spoken about. So there are both corrective actions and preventive actions. Prevention is better than cure. So we can focus on preventive actions. There are different things which you should be doing. There are elements of GRC, regulatory compliance. There are elements of regular VAPT testing. Training and awareness is huge, right? Every now and then I get pinged by someone within our teams across the globe, right? Whether it is Netherlands or whether it is India. Hey, I got this email apparently from you, but I'm like, hey, check what does it say, right? What's the email address? So there's also a awareness and training element involved. There is a culture development. Cybersecurity should not be an afterthought, right? I mean, if uh, ideally, instead of spending millions and billions later on, I mean, you would want to do the investments upfront, right? You want to kind of have a team, a solid team, which has a good solution, recruited upfront, working for you, with you, right? To ensure that all these preventive actions are in place. Use a good set of tool. Use things like HackerView. Use the services, qualified, certified resources who are behind you, working with you to go after all of these solutions along with you, right? So invest in these cybersecurity solutions, the third-party vendor management. These are some of the preventive actions, and maybe Anshu, you can talk a little bit about the corrective actions, and you please chime in as well, right? System updates, patching, your perspective on the corrective stuff too.
Yeah, I think I will just talk about in the human psychology aspect, because Hieu has multiple time mentioned it. Insider threat is the one of the major cause of all of these issues, right? We as a human are busy, right, in our life. We have friends, family, college, football game, TV, and many different stuff, right? So we, as a human being, I want to finish my work and go home and relax and do whatever I like to, right? So I want to get it quickly done, right? So by having that mind, right, I'm a human. I may make mistake, right? I make 100 mistakes, every day, but we are a quick learner, right? So this cybersecurity is a continuous effort. Let's say I'm in a bad mood, right, and I forgot to, I just clicked on some email, right? Then malware will be sent. So instead of that, just let the systems, automated system, do the job, right? We as a human may make mistake, but computer is no emotions, nothing, right? Computer is, whatever is fed into the system, they're gonna make sure that decision is being made based on the decision, right? So let computers do the job, right? And then human can oversee that, whether computer is doing job it's correctly or not, right? Or let's say computer identified some ransomware attack, then either computer system can, automated system can take a decision on your behalf, or let human expertise come in. Generally, there is one other data point I want to call out. What we have seen is these attacks are very active during weekend. The reason being, again, human aspect, right? Humans are busy, right, enjoying family, friends, or taking care of their affairs, right, whatever they have to do. So weekend, not many people are reachable. Weekend odd hours are very sensitive hours for these attacks. Go ahead, next slide, please.
You, from your side, anything to add? I mean, one key takeaway which you want to kind of just end with from your standpoint. I mean, of course, I want to thank everyone for joining, and you can see the contact details. Please book a complimentary assessment. Write to us, write to Anshu, write to me.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to do it. But you, from your side, right? If you had to kind
Yeah.
of highlight one key takeaway, what would that be?
Thank you. Thank you, Anshu. Thank you, Rohan. Um, you know, one key takeaway is very important, that always think like a hacker, because you never know. Just be ready. One day, sooner or later, you get hacked. So
Okay.
be ready. And what you should be ready is, put up your cybersecurity um, service, and any, could be hire a team or hire a service that can be able to protect your data assets, like your customer data. Thank
Yeah.
you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and that is the reason why we have hackers view, right?
Hacker
As
view, right? Hacker view.
you mentioned, think like an hacker. That's the reason why we created the tool called Hacker's View. Doesn't require any installation. It's just 2 minutes, 2 click. Anybody, even a grandma, can run it. All you need to do is just provide a domain name. It figures out the whole thing how hackers see it. So that's the beauty of that tool, which Hieu has provided lots of expertise, and and then there's a whole defensive mechanism. Cool. Having said that, I would like to conclude. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I really want to thank you and appreciate you taking time and joining our webinar. I hope this was very, very helpful. I'm a big hospitality user, right? I travel a lot. Yesterday, I just came from AWS reInvent, right? I don't want my passport to be sold for $1 a piece, right? Or my credit card, $10 a piece. So this is personally very, very important for me, right? So I would request the management of all of these big hotel chains, please do not wait to sell my data after the incident, right? But please take some preventive mechanism. It will save not only the cost on your side, but also increase the customer trust, right? As a customer, we have 100 choices to make, right? If MGM is coming up, hey, my data, my systems are these much protected, I'm likely to offer that. This means more revenue for your company, more stock price increment, and customers will be happy. A happy customers will bring 10 more happy customers. A bad customer will ruin the business as well. We have seen, the history has shown us in the past as well, right? So please come take a complimentary assessment of Hacker's View. It doesn't cost you anything. I guarantee it will provide you a lot of insights. Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Like we stated, it's not a question of if, but it's a question of when you'll be hacked. And the beauty of it is you can take action right now. So we'll make this a recurring series. I think we'll have some subsequent good webinars as well, interesting topics. But on that note, I thank you all for joining. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Now.
Thank you. Appreciate it.